Oh, I have problems with the word craft and art. I think quilts are art. I do think that it's one of those that can straddle both. I feel like I'm hoping to make sure that it's seen as art and not just the bedspread that you put on your bed. About 10 years ago, I had a sinus issue. I had to have surgery and I was in bed for supposed to be 3 weeks, and I brought a cheap $100 sewing machine and I wanted to make some pillows. So I made pillows and then started looking around the web and found a couple of modern quilting blogs. So that started me quilting. And I come from a science and math background. I did marine biology in my undergrad and statistics, and the science and math is quilting's the only form of art where it's got the math component also in it. So I like the fact that I get to use both sides of my brain, the art side and the math side. Yeah, so normally I sit down and I design first. So that's typically on paper. And I think about the idea, and then most of the time it's something that's going on in my life at the point in time I'm making it, or there's something I've seen that inspires a quilt, or the emotional place I'm at in my life right now and wanting people to understand more. So this piece is called Let's Talk, making invisible visible, and it's about invisible disabilities that people don't see, because I think it's time to start talking about making that more mainstream, because we look at people but we don't know what they've gone through or what disabilities they might have. And in my family, I've got folks that I know that have anxiety or bipolar. My son is dyslexic, and you wouldn't know that if you just looked at us. But there's some stigma associated to some of those invisible disabilities as well, and I want to break down that stigma and make it a positive conversation. So I'm hoping to go through about 200 invisible disabilities that I've collected off different people and hand stitch each of those words. And I've chosen the colours on purpose, so it's cream with a white background in the letters, so that it's from a distance, it's kind of invisible, but as you come closer, the words become more visible. I like community interactions, so anytime I show it or anything, I might have a jar full that people can write on their invisible disability, and we can add that to the quilt. I define the modern quilt as different techniques that has a modern aesthetic to it. And I think it's influenced a little bit from the Bauhaus or the Minimalist movement. Because I design based on what I see or what I feel, each one of my designs can be constructed differently using different techniques. So based on that, I may buy fabric, but I may recycle fabrics as well and reuse them. I've done a few pieces using like old jeans from the family, or t-shirts, or like linen tablecloths and other things. I try to reuse all my scraps as well. So even if I buy fabric, I'm not throwing away the scraps. They'll land back in a quilt. And this was made mostly from scraps. And I like interpreting that into a quilt. So I really enjoy it.